Today I want to give you all a beginner's guide to help you know what you're getting into. We're going to go over the different classes you can play, take a look at the weapons and the gadgets that they have, and talk about the 4 different game modes available. I'm then going to give you some tips that I think will help you understand the mechanics of the game. Let's dive into it. Okay, there are 3 different classes you can play. You have the light build, the medium build, and the heavy build. And now they each have their own equipment, with a lot of it being unique to each build. This is what will determine which one you end up picking. We'll look at the medium build to begin with. So the medium is unlocked at level 1 and is a good middle ground for health and movement, providing you a good utility as they have a lot of equipment suited for team play. They get a healing beam to begin with. This will provide health to your team, although you can't use it to heal yourself. You then have the recon sense, which will allow you to highlight enemies through the wall, and finally the guardian turret, which will place down an AI controlled turret. Okay, as for the guns, generally speaking, they're all pretty good, but you start with the AKM, and honestly, it's a solid pick. Try them all out though. There's even a grenade launcher if that's your way of playing. For the gadgets, they can use tracking darts, defib, jump pad, zip lines, and many more, making them a very versatile class. Medium will be good for beginners just trying to learn the game, but in general it's a real powerful class due to the utility that they can bring to the team. So the light build doesn't get much health, but is known for their movement, with their abilities making you hard to hit, allowing you to move around the map and get the flank on your enemies quickly, and without being detected. You start with a grapple, which is good for rapidly getting to the top of buildings, or just to run away. After the grapple, you can unlock the evasive dash, which will allow you to dash up to 3 times, as well as the cloak, which turns you invisible. You can turn this on and off, making you really hard to keep track of. The preferred gun people use is the V9S, which is a pistol, and the LH1, but I'd recommend you trying out the different guns and just kind of getting a feel for what actually works for you, because you might find that something else is better. Just statistically, these guns are really good. As for gadgets, the proximity sensor, the goo grenade, smoke grenade are good choices. If movement is your thing, then you'll probably want to play the light. With how capable they are at getting around the map and repositioning mid-fight, you'll have to have good reaction time and quick thinking. Alright, now the heavy is the opposite, right? They have a lot of health, but they're quite slow. He gets a charge that can be used to dash and destroy anything in its way. A goo gun that can shoot out goo and can be used to create long platforms, and then the mesh shield, which is good for that extra bit of cover. The rocket launcher is pretty popular among heavy players due to the destruction value, but also the shotgun, as it does high damage at close range. Basically meaning with that extra health, you're bound to win any 1v1 as a heavy. A lot of people like to use the mine, the flashbang, the dome shield, and the barricade. But like I said before, just experiment and see what works with you. If you typically prefer a tanky character, then the heavy will be a good pick. It can hold down an area and also push enemies very effectively. If you've already been able to try them all out, then I'd like to know which one you guys think is the best, or simply which one you prefer. Let me know in the comments down below, but moving on to the game modes. Now there are 4 to pick from, and the goal between all of them is to make the most money. In quick play you have quick cash and then bank it. You then have tournaments, which can be either ranked or unranked. So quick cash is a 3v3v3, where teams are rushing to collect a vault and cash it out, all while trying to stop the other teams from doing the exact same thing. To win, all you need to do is collect and cash out 2 of these. Bank it is the next, which is 3v3v3v3, so that's 4 teams. This is a bit more combat heavy, with the main goal still being just to collect money. You get money by getting the objectives that are around the map, or from the enemies that you kill. The goal is to deposit them in a bank and hit 40k before the other team does. Alright, so with a ranked tournament, you're put up against 16 different teams in a bracket. After 4 games, all 4 teams will have played against each other, and the 2 squads who come in first will go to the next round. This mode is similar to quick cash in that you take votes and you take them to the extraction point. Winning games allow you to go to the next stage in the tournament, and winning will earn you points towards your overall rank. So an unranked tournament is essentially the same thing, but with the 8 teams instead, and it doesn't count towards anything, making it good if you just want to practice rank play without putting your rank on the line. Alright, so we covered the game modes, we covered the characters, we covered the weapons they can use, right? So now I want to give you guys some tips I think will just help you in the game going forward. So you can destroy near enough anything. You can shoot down walls with your gun and completely destroy buildings, causing them to tumble down into a pile of rubble. You can break zip lines so that people can't follow you, and there are just so many things you can do, it's insane. You can destroy anything, just try it, trust me. You can pick up and throw most objects around the map. There are 5 different canisters, from explosive, smoke, gas, goo, and flammable. How far you throw them depends on what character you're playing, as well as variables like sprinting and jumping while throwing will alter how far it can go. Also, you've just seen goo and must be wondering what it is and how it can be used. Now this is actually a very versatile material, as you're able to not only block off areas, but you can also stand on top of it, which with a little imagination and creativity can be used in a lot of different ways. And as I mentioned before, the heavy is able to use the goo gun, which essentially allow you to make a bridge of goo. Alright, so as the medium, you can put down the jump pad, and there are some around the map as well. What I want you to keep in mind is that these will launch you in whatever angle it is pointing, so you can use this for movement quite effectively. By putting goo down, you're able to place it at near enough any angle, opening up a lot of movement potential between the two. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is that all the guns have a recoil pattern that you can actually learn. You'll notice you're being a lot more accurate and winning more engagements if you take the time to really learn the recoil patterns for all the guns that you mainly use. The final thing I want to tell you is that with it being a team-based game, you want to have the best communication as possible. You can use the pinging system if you don't feel comfortable talking in game to keep your team informed on where you're going and where the enemies might be. With that, I've just set you up to begin playing the finals, and hopefully you're all a bit more clued up about what this game actually has to offer and how you want to play it. I'd recommend trying out everything, as you may find your preferred playstyle is different to what you have imagined. But other than that, I really hope I helped you guys today, and if I did, leave a comment, leave a like, whatever. Until next time, thanks for watching.